Welcome to TTV News. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of April the 9th, the Ministry of National Defense held a seminar to collect opinions on the decree detailing a number of articles of the Vietnam Bodyguard Law. Major General Nguyễn Hoài Phương, Deputy Commander of the Vietnam Bodyguard, chaired the seminar. It was also attended by Mr. Nguyễn Thành Phong, Vice Chairman of Tay Ninh Provincial People's Council.
Speaking at the opening ceremony, Major General Nguyễn Hoài Phương emphasized that the seminar is a practical activity to realize a field survey for drafting the decree detailing a number of articles on the law of Vietnam Bodyguard to make sure that after being promulgated, the decree will be highly feasible and sustainable with the social reality. According to the report, the Vietnam Bodyguard laws adopted on November the 11th of 2020 by the 14th National Assembly of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam and its 10 sections will take effect from January the 1st of 2022, in which 3 articles will be assigned to the government to provide detailed regulations. The participants have expressed their high consensus and contributed many comments to supplement and complete the draft decree. Major General Nguyễn Hoài Phương acknowledged and highly appreciated the comments of the delegates. He affirms that the drafting board should synchronize and receive comments to complete the draft documents for appraisals before submitting it to the Prime Minister for issuance. One day earlier, the delegation also conducted a field survey to serve the drafting decrees detailing the Vietnam Bodyguard law at the Bodyguard Station of Mộc Bài International Bodyguard in Tay Ninh Province.
The delegation of Military Region 7 High Command of Vietnam People's Army, led by Major General Đặng Văn Lẫm, Deputy Commander of the Military Region 7, recently visited, presented gifts, and congratulated the Cambodian units that will have cooperation and training relations on the occasion of Thon Chnam thmay, a traditional New Year festival of the Kingdom of Cambodia. The gift-giving ceremony took place on April 8, 2021 at the Battery Store number 171 at Mộc Bài International Bodyguard in Bến Cầu District, Tay Ninh Province. On this occasion, the Military Region 7 High Command visited and gave that gift to units including the Army High Command, the High Command of Police, the High Command of the Gendarmerie, the High Command of the Military Region 2, the High Command of the Military Region 4, and Special Military Region of the Royal Cambodian Army. The Military Region 7 High Command of Vietnam People's Army also expressed hope that the two countries would succeed in preventing and push back the COVID-19 pandemic, continuing to connect and promote mutual cooperation, training and support activities in order to tighten, nurture and build a solidarity, peaceful and friendly cooperation between the army and people of the two countries.
Tay Ninh Province has been seriously implementing the government resolution, including resolution number 35 on enterprises support and development till 2020, resolution number 139 on November the 9th of 2018, promulgating the action program to reduce costs for enterprises, and resolution number 2 on continuing to perform major tasks and solutions to improve the business environment and increase national competitiveness in 2021. The application of one-door, one-stop-shop mechanism in the establishments of businesses has contributed to shorten the time for implementation of local administrative procedures. Accordingly, the procedures for starting a new business remain 3 days, 5 days for business dissolution procedure, and for procedures to supplement business registration content. This is to create a favorable business environment, effectively support startups, and improve their competitiveness. The number of newly registered enterprises in the period of 2016 to 2020 are about 2,800 ones, with a charter capital of over 26 trillion Vietnam dong, of which FDI enterprises are about 120 enterprises, with a charter capital of about 500 million US dollar. The structure of newly established business includes industry construction accounts for 34%, trade and service for 62%, and agriculture, forestry, fishery for 4%. And the total number of active enterprises in the business economy is about 6,000.
According to the decision number 501, dated March 38, 2021 of the Prime Minister, Tay Ninh social insurance will be assigned over 530 billion Vietnam dong to serve medical expenses of health insurance by 2021. In order to strictly comply with regulation on medical examination and treatment expenses covered by health insurance, the Prime Minister asked the Department of Health to assume the prime responsibility for and coordinate with the provincial social insurance and related agencies to strengthen advisory work to help the Provincial People's Committee perform the state management of health insurance through inspection, examination, and violation handling, to take measures to prevent abuse and profiteering of the health insurance fund. The Department of Finance should fully and promptly transfer funds from the state budget to pay and support payment of health insurance for beneficiaries of the state budget, participating in managing the health insurance fund according to regulations. Meanwhile, medical examination and treatment facilities need to fully and promptly update information on medical examination and treatment covered by health insurance and transfer data to the Social Insurance Agency according to regulations for accurate and timely payment. Medical examination and treatment facilities also need to provide adequate drugs, chemicals, medical supplies, and technical services within the scope of benefits of health insurance beneficiaries. Improve the spirit of strictly practice, combat wastefulness in test indications, inpatient treatment, and service use, especially expensive technical services and medicines.
TayNinhTV Rubber Joint Stock Company held a conference to employee delegates in 2021 to review the production and business activities in 2020 and to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the establishment of the company. Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái, Standing Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, and Mr. Trần Văn Chiến, Vice Chairman of Provincial People's Committee, as well as Mr. Trần Ngọc Thuận, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Vietnam Rubber Industry Group, attended the conference. In 2020, despite many difficulties, the company still exceeded the financial targets. The total output of processed rubber reached for over 6,200 tons, accounting for 117% of the plan. Over the past 35 years, the company product consumption is over 265,000 tons, and leads to its turnover is over 9.7 trillion Vietnam dong, contributing to the state budget for more than 1,180 billion Vietnam dong. And Mr. Trần Ngọc Thuận, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Vietnam Rubber Industry Group, warmly praised the achievements that TayNinhTV Rubber Joint Stock Company has brought in recent years. He also suggested that in 2021 and the following years, the company should focus on implementing the tasks of production and business, changing business strategies, use the land fund more effectively, implement well the policies to employees, apply scientific and technical advances in production, coordinating with the local authorities to well perform the task of ensuring security and order in the locality. And with the results achieved in 2020, TayNinhTV Rubber Joint Stock Company has received the emulation flags from the Vietnam Rubber Industry Group and the Vietnam Rubber Trade Union. The Ninh Provincial People's Committee also awarded certificates of merit to 6 collectives and 5 individuals of the company.
The audience, in recent years, apart from ensuring epidemic prevention and control of border gate areas, preventing the disease from spreading to inland, the border medical and quarantine forces at the front lines of the border gates blocking posts have been also performed the task of ensuring safety for the entire forces. Tay Ninh province shares a 240-kilometer border with Cambodia, with 129 fixed points and 32 mobile teams to prevent people from illegally entering and exiting and preventing the COVID-19 pandemic. In recent days, Tay Ninh has continuous recorded cases of COVID-19 infection right from the time of entry and was quickly sampled at the border gates. To ensure safety and prevention of epidemic in the force, the Ministry of Defense has coordinated with the Ministry of Health to deploy vaccination for the entire task force at border stations and border gates in border provinces including Tay Ninh province. The vaccination campaign will be completed before April 30th in order to most effectively support border guards on duty and in contact with entry objects. Previously, in the early stages of the epidemic, the Provincial Border Guard Command also strictly followed the instructions of the government, the Ministry of Defense, and the Steering Committee for Disease Prevention and Control at all levels, in implementation of preventive measures of COVID-19. In particular, the forces participating in the epidemic prevention and control are required to wear masks and gloves when in close contact with people entering or cleaning the working environment. At the same time, monitoring body temperature, making medical declaration is compulsory for all officers, soldiers of agencies and units. Specifically, monitor the health of soldiers on business trips, on vacation, or returning from epidemic areas.
Facing the epidemic development in the periphery, the Provincial Party Committee and Border Guard Command have deployed epidemic prevention and control activities right away. Firstly, the person who on charge must implement all measures to prevent and control of the pandemic, including 5 key messages in Vietnamese and vaccination. They are not subjective or codes of guard to ensure the safety for themselves, for a unit, as well as their families and the community. And up to this point, 100% of soldiers have fully grasped that spirit.
In addition to the border guard forces, the positive cases of SARS-CoV-2 infection also increase the risk of infection for international medical quarantine forces working at international border gates. Despite being vaccinated, the forces still have to ensure safety rules when performing the mission, reviewing and supplementing protective equipment for workers directly taking samples and contact with people on entry that haven't been confirmed negative for SARS-CoV-2. With the drastic deployment of anti-epidemic measures for each soldier, officers, and employee, along with the rotation from COVID-19 vaccines, hopefully it will encourage and help the soldiers ensure their health to continue the task of protecting border areas and border gates, preventing epidemics from spreading in the community. In particular, each citizen also needs to raise awareness and responsibility in preventing and controlling the epidemic for themselves, for their families, and the simplest thing is to do well the 5K measures of the Ministry of Health and to honestly make medical declaration when returning from epidemic areas. That's all for today TTV News. Thanks for watching and see you next time.